Hey guys, another quick one-take review, and today I want to talk about the new collaborative EP between King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard and Tropical Fuckstorm, Satanic Slumber Party. I think it's pretty much impossible to be unaware of both bands at this point if you're even remotely involved in any sort of like music geek sort of area of the internet, which I mean, you're watching an album EP review on YouTube, so like me, you probably are. So I mean, obviously, you're probably familiar with King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard as well as Tropical Fuckstorm, but the fact that these two legends in the making, these two Australian bands, are coming together to make this EP is really fantastic and also completely different and nowhere near as monumental as or I think most people were expecting it to be. Whether you're looking at Tropical Fuckstorm's sense of apocalyptic post-punk or King Gizzard's psychedelic genre hopping and experimentation, Satanic Slumber Party really takes a good amount of influence from both bands while sounding nothing like either. This EP isn't psychedelic, it isn't garage rock, it isn't noise rock, it isn't experimental or industrial rock, but it's all of those things at the same time, and those are all things that both individual bands have done over the years. So really, there's no way that I can properly classify this EP. In fact, the only way that I could classify this EP is just the simple term itself, experimental, which is about as broad as it gets when discussing genre names. The EP is split into three different parts: The Chairman's Portrait, Midnight in Sodom, and Hoof and Horn. And honestly, I kind of feel like it's maybe a little bit undercooked. I get it's an EP, it's only 18 minutes, like a lot of EPs are, very short. But at the same time, I really feel like it could have at least amounted to more somehow. I'm not even sure how, because again, this is a very unique EP. I will give it that much. It's a very creative EP. But it just feels like it could have been more than it actually ultimately is. And again, it just feels very undercooked in some spots, except part three, Hoof and Horn. I think that's actually a fantastic track on the record, and I personally think part three is what parts one and two really should have and could have been. But ultimately, I do think that Satanic Slumber Party, considering the already kind of notability and legacy that both these bands are building up, is just a bit underwhelming. But at the same time, it is a good EP. At the very least, Satanic Slumber Party is good at keeping your attention and making sure that you're never drawn away from the chaotic sound collage weirdness that's going on throughout the majority of it. So, with that being said, I'm going to give it 3.5 stars out of 5. It could have been much, much better, but then again, maybe Tropical Fuckstorm and King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard are just two different bands that are maybe just meant to be on their own kind of playing field. So, yeah, with that being said, 3.5 stars out of 5. And that is the end of this review, and I will see you guys in the next one.